Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider,
we're not talking about buying big plots of land and starting a huge farm.
See how a local neighborhood is dealing with the loss of 2 major grocery stores. Next, check out how the CPD plans to manage Halloween crowds this weekend. But first, learn how the pandemic is impacting college enrollment. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Cam Adams. Our top story today, college enrollment numbers have dropped nationwide for the second straight year. According to new research from the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, undergraduate enrollment has dropped by 3.2% since fall 2020, nearly matching last fall's drop. This year's decline goes against predictions of a post-pandemic bounce back. The Richmond One School Board has a new member today. Robert Lomnack won more than 60% of the vote. Lomnack is a former teacher at Drury High School and a founder of an education nonprofit. Lomnack won over Hamilton Jacobs and former Richmond County Council member Jim Manning for the at-large position. A local police department is working hard to keep you safe this Halloween weekend. Here with that in today's Soda City scene is Sydney Pennington. Sydney?
Thanks, Cam. With Halloween quickly approaching, the City of Columbia Police Department is expecting to see large numbers of people in Five Points this weekend. But people aren't waiting. Last night, folks in costumes started lining up outside of local bars, like here at Cotton Gin. CPD plans to take many steps in ensuring public safety. When asked about these plans, the department said in a statement that CPD is continuing its proactive enforcement in 5 Points to include foot patrols, engaging with patrons, and monitoring the safety and flow of pedestrians. There will be a high visibility of officers. The department wants you to remember a few safety tips. These include staying aware of your surroundings, using crosswalks, and traveling in groups. Make sure to keep your phone charged and call 911 in case of emergency. Stay safe and have a happy Halloween. Back to you in the studio, Cam.
Thanks, Sydney. From sweets and treats to a more serious food concern, a Columbia community is struggling with food insecurity. Here with that story is our very own Makayla Evans.
What's that?
Picking up new hobbies during the pandemic became common throughout isolation. However, April Adams picked up a new lifestyle.
Well, let's first define homesteading in this sense. We're not talking about buying big plots of land and starting a huge farm.
April set out to live more sustainable after the pandemic raised concerns within supply chains. She began growing her own food and materials in her backyard.
While not everyone can homestead, they do have access to fresh food at a grocery store. But what if the only grocery store in your community within a 1-mile radius shuts down, much like this Save-A-Lot on Hardin Street?
A challenge this neighborhood faced after the closing of Save-A-Lot and the only other thriving grocery store in their community. April Jones saw a need in their Pinehurst neighborhood after witnessing it become one of the many food deserts in Columbia. The USDA defines food deserts as areas with limited access to healthy and affordable food, where people reside more than 1 mile from a supermarket in large urban areas. April began Pinehurst Farmers Market to create fresh food access for her community in the middle of the low-access food area. With the help of local farmers, April has seen the impact of the market on her neighborhood.
I think that the Pinehurst Farmers Market has really been transformative for our community, and I think it's also a great gathering point where people can come together.
Coming together with friends is exactly what April Adams did to help create homesteading in the city.
Hey, it's April, and
the friend group shares their journey through various homesteading videos. In the future, April hopes to produce products that supersedes their own needs. This would give them the opportunity to donate to various farmers markets, such as Pinehurst. For Carolina Insider, I'm Makayla Evans.
Finally today, big news from Carolina's women's basketball team. Junior Aaliyah Boston was named to the AP All-American First Team this week. The Lady Gamecocks kick off their season next week with an exhibition against Benedict College on Monday. Other Gamecock teams look to continue their fall seasons this weekend. Both the men's and women's tennis teams have inter-squad matches coming up on Friday and Saturday. The club hockey team will face off against UNC Charlotte at home on Friday, and they'll travel to Charlotte on Saturday to finish the series on the road. The USC football team has a much-needed bye week ahead of them after a 41-14 loss to Texas A&M. Their next game is November 6th at home against Florida. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.